type of research that's conducted. So some studies are prospective and they last 3 years or more. So, for example, the Gulf study that's, I believe, still being conducted following the Gulf disaster, the oil spill that happened in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's been happening for over 10 years. I'm not sure if we're going to get proposals of that nature. We're probably going to get proposals with, all various different studies being proposed, and some may last just a few years, some may last more. So it really just depends on the proposals that we receive and their response to the solicitation we put out. But in terms of what I mentioned earlier about the 3 years, so that's in relation to an evaluation that the Scientific Oversight Committee is going to conduct at the end of the 3rd year of the health study. So that evaluation is going to look into whether the study or the research that is being conducted, whether it's actually on track to meeting the goals that the health study put in place for the health study. So that's just kind of an explanation as to why I mentioned 3 years.
David, am I still on? David?
You are.
I'm still on. Okay.
So Julie, just in hindsight, we're really trying to focus on comments, unless Chris wants to give answers.
You're right. You did say that. I will make my final comment here. It's not my final one, but I'll make it anyhow. I guess my concern is that not only do we not know to this date what the impact was, I don't know from one day to the next if there are leaks at the gas company site and how it's impacting our lives. And it's hard to wait 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now because we do not know what's happening daily. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Patty, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you, Patty.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks. The best source of data for this health study will come from our bodies. Longitudinal physical examinations, CBC blood work, toxicology tests are a must. I have a problem with many of the sources of secondary data listed in your statement. First, doctor and emergency records. Dr. Ragan's March 2016 directive made many doctors not list ELISO as a possible cause of symptoms. And I know I'm not the only patient who had a doctor refuse to go there with my respiratory problem. Also, the Casper survey in 2016 was conducted when many of the most affected weren't back home. Some agencies like the OEHHA used data by SoCal Gas to conclude there weren't any levels of concern, and that first community survey last fall was geographically flawed and may give any research team the wrong impression about how the community feels about impacts from ELISO, just as all these other secondary sources will not give any research team the right information. It has to be about what happened in our bodies, and that's about physical examinations and clinical study that's over the 3-year or 5-year or whatever period, periodical tests of our bodies and blood work. So again, there's so many problems with this goals and priority, and I think it was written by someone who really doesn't have a clue about what our community went through and what is a proper health study. It's not a risk assessment study, it's a health study, and it has to be about our bodies, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Helen, please unmute yourself.
Yes, I wanted to say first and foremost, this study needs to be human-based study. Nothing else is going to be accepted by this community. And another thing that, you were telling us that, you feel like it's too much information and you're overwhelmed and it's too much to absorb. I just want to let you know that we can say anything new that, we don't know. And this doesn't even touch 1/50th of how much we know. And it's surprising that, that the information you're giving us, you think is too much when you don't know anything about, or you know a little bit about what we went through. If you need to, you can come to the community. The residents will educate you. to what we went through and what we are going through and how much we know. And another thing is that for the survey, you were so excited and overwhelmed with the 250 response that you had. But you were saying that the Department of Health relocated 8,000 households. And we know we have over 30,000 people who have lawsuits. And we know that a lot of people in the community do not have lawsuits, but they were relocated. So we're talking about almost 1.5 million people in San Fernando Valley. And you get excited over 250 response. That's a shame. That is a shame that you're satisfied with that many response, and even if you double that, still, I mean, you guys need to try to reach out the community, the residents, and we know you know how to do it because we have seen you on TV for this COVID, and we know that you know how to do it. You just don't want to do it. That's another thing. And please, I want to have a meeting before the deadline that we would have some answers, a meeting that we could have questions and somebody would answer us, not just public comments. This is not going to satisfy us. We have so many questions. We have been asking for over 5 years. We haven't even gotten one answer to any of those questions. This is not fair. This is not how it's done. If you really want to get the community's trust, participate, or go forward with this, you need to have a meeting soon, like tomorrow, next week, soon, before the deadline, and come and answer some questions. And please send somebody more experienced. I don't want to insult you, Christine. I'm sorry. I know this is not fair to you because they have put you in front of this community and they're hiding behind you. Where are all those people, original people? They need to come and answer some questions to this community. Thank you.